Hola! Well, sun is out. That means we're generating our own electricity here in our house. Now, a couple of videos ago when I was working on Thread Express, I said that we were getting ready to have this solar system installed. Well, we've actually had it done now. It's been about 2 weeks, and I thought I'd run you through what we had installed and how it's working for us. So let's go and have a look. Now, probably the most important part of any solar system is the actual solar panels that you put on your roof. Now, the ones that we purchased are from a company called AIKO, that's A-I-K-O. The modules we had installed are called NeoStar 2P modules. Each one of those modules can generate 470 watts of power, and we've actually got 34, I think, panels in total. There's 26 on this side of the roof which faces west, and the rest of the panels are on the side of the roof that faces east. Now, each one of those big rectangular modules is actually 2 panels, so there's 13 big rectangular modules, 26 on this side of the roof. And these panels are a new generation with lots of fancy names about the different technology that's used to make them. But in short, these will actually generate power on a day like today when there is cloud coming over the sun. So even when there's no direct sunlight on the panel, they're still generating power. And the other thing is that if you have shade falling on, say, one corner of the panel, it will still generate power from the rest of the modules inside the smaller module. So there's actually 9 zones in each one of those panels, and any one of those that gets shaded just simply doesn't generate any power, but the rest of the 8 zones, say for example, would still generate power and pass it on to the inverter. Next components down the line would be the inverter, which is sitting on top, and then underneath that are 2 8 kilowatt battery modules. Now, this is made by a company called SIG Energy, and the very cool thing about this is that all of the packages that you can purchase are the same. So they have the same fascia panels, they slot together and stack one on top of the other. So we could actually put another 8 kilowatt battery module on top of the 2 that we already have and just simply move the inverter up. Or we could fit a DC fast charger for an EV, which is packaged the same way, and it would fit between the inverter on top and the battery modules underneath. Now, the battery modules that we purchased here are a lithium iron phosphate battery, which is a different chemistry to lithium iron. So the iron in lithium iron phosphate is actually iron, I-R-O-N. Not lithium ion as in the small rechargeable battery packs you might get in a mobile phone, for example. The important thing about these is they don't have the same thermal runaway characteristics as lithium ion batteries. So although there is some risk maybe of an electrical short, they won't burst into flames and burn like a lithium ion battery will. Also, inside the battery modules there are heat cooling packs, and there are also fire suppressants built into the battery modules themselves. So we thought that was fairly important when we had the system installed. The other thing is that there's a monitoring panel on the top right hand corner in the inverter, and you can check that, and it sort of gives you some information about what the inverter is doing. And then running down the left hand edge of the whole pack is an LED strip. Now, that LED strip can be configured in different ways. It's a bit of a gimmick really, I'll show you shortly some of the gimmicky things they've built into it, but we've actually got it set up as a state of charge indicator. So at the moment that LED strip is lit up all the way to the top, which tells me that the battery modules are fully charged. Now, in the morning when the battery pack is at about half charge, you'll see that LED strip sort of strobing from the bottom toward the top, and that means that it's actually charging, and when it starts to discharge it will strobe from the top down toward the bottom. So it's just a visual indication of what's happening with the inverter. But there is actually a phone app which gives you a lot more information, and I'll show you that now. So this is the phone app here. It's set up when you have the system installed. You do have to create a username and a password. And you can see down here that we're actually running at 100% charge on the battery pack. The house itself at the moment is taking 0.3 of a kilowatt of power, but the panels are actually producing 2.1 kilowatts, and we're actually exporting just at the moment 1.8 kilowatts, I think. And there's just lots and lots of screens here which tell you what's happening with the system. You can monitor how much power you've used, how much you've generated, how much you've exported, and so on. There's a lot of fancy looking graphs, and you can see all of this data on a daily or a monthly basis or a weekly basis. So there's our battery, and during the night it will drop down to around about 50%, and then it rapidly charges up in the morning. Usually by midday we've got a full charge in the battery packs. There are also different modes that you can set it up in. We just got the default mode at the moment, but you can play around with that and sort of use an AI version of the operating mode. But I said before, you can set up this LED strip in all sorts of fancy ways. So let's have a look. So if we go to lighting and we go to the LED strip, so that's the Christmas light mode, and there's also one called breathing. But I've got it set up for state of charge, and as you can see, it's fully charged. The other important thing about this battery and inverter system is that it's totally silent. Before we had this installed, I was sort of expecting that you might hear a faint whistle or humming sound coming from it, but there's nothing like that at all. Underneath this area where I had my hand, there's a heat sink, and it's just very slightly warm there, but the rest of this grill area on top is totally cold. So in my view, it just sits there and minds its own business. Right, the next component in the whole installation is this box here. Now this is called the gateway. It's made by the same company as the inverter and the battery pack. And this is basically the connection between the inverter and the batteries and the power coming in from the mains on the street. So in this box here are two sets of circuit breakers. And the important thing about this is that if you're doing any electrical work in the house, you need to isolate both the inverter and the battery pack and the mains coming in from the street, because you could turn off the main power coming in from the pole on the street and the house would still be energized from the battery and the inverter system. So it's really important to understand that if you're going to do any sort of electrical work. Now the other important thing about this is that there is a network cable attached underneath here, and that goes back to the inverter and the battery pack. Now, in the event of a blackout or a power outage, this thing switches over in 0 milliseconds. Now that's what I've been told. You can operate this without the network cable through Wi-Fi, but with this hard cable here, it becomes an uninterruptible power supply. So if the power is to go out from the street, this would switch over to the battery and the inverter in 0 milliseconds. You wouldn't see any flickering lights, you wouldn't have any indication at all that you're actually in a blackout condition. Now for me, that's actually a negative thing. I would like to know if there was a power outage, because then you could scale back your electricity usage and sort of throttle back and get an extended period of time running off the battery and the inverter pack. Now, I have asked the people who did the installation if they would get in touch with the app developers and work it out so that it gives you a push notification on your phone, so you get an alert straight away if there is a power outage. I'm still waiting to see what happens with that. But this does form the bridge between what's happening with the power coming in from the street and what's happening with the inverter and the battery pack. So that's it. That's the gateway. It's a very neat install. Pretty much just sits there and you wouldn't even know it was there. Okay, I guess the thing you really want to know is how much did it cost? Well, for us it was around about $23,000, that's Australian dollars, and that's for everything. That was all of the components and the installation. I did some of the work myself, mainly digging trenches for the network cable and putting in a concrete pad for the battery system. I also got up on the roof and replaced a lot of the rusty screws that were up there, but all of the rest of the work was done by the installers. Now, there were 3 people here, and they were here all day. They started about 8:30 and they finished at 5:30 in the afternoon. They did a fantastic job. They cleaned up after themselves. I can't fault any of the work that they've done. Now, you might say, well, gee, that's a lot of money. That would pay for your electricity bill for the next 10 years. Well, the thing is that power and electricity is not going to get any cheaper. It's always going to increase in price with inflation. And we don't know what's going to happen with power generation. We don't know whether it's going to go fully renewable, whether they're going to go nuclear, whether they'll try to reinvest in gas and coal. Whatever happens, it's not going to get cheaper. So with this system here, we're actually exporting power to the grid every day, maybe 3 to 4 kilowatts every day. The retailer only pays us about 4 cents per kilowatt. So at the end of a week, you know, you might have saved $3, $4, $5, something like that. And over the month, that might pay for your daily charge that the retailer will charge us just for being connected to the grid. But most days we don't use any power from the grid at all. We basically just run completely off the battery and the solar panels during the day. Now the system at the moment will supply all of our needs. I was out here the other day working on my ride-on mower. I had a friend come over. We used the welder, the plasma cutter, we had grinders going, and all of that power was coming from the solar panels. So at the end of the day, we still had around about 98% charge in the battery. So there's enough capacity there to run all of our needs during the day, and then the rest of the power comes from the battery at night. So it's really weird to be sitting in the house, with the lights on, watching TV, having a cup of tea, knowing that you're actually not using any power coming from the street at all. So I think it's worth it. There are also sort of environmental concerns for us. We'd like to reduce our carbon footprint as much as possible, and this sort of gives you that capacity to be able to not change your lifestyle, but you're not actually, taking part in a system that generates lots and lots of carbon emissions. Now people always say, yeah, what about the cost of manufacturing the batteries and the solar panels, and they can't be recycled and so on. But that's a capital cost. That's something that you have to pay in order to get into the system. And the recycling of these solar panels is gearing up, as they're getting more and more of them coming, like especially the first generation panels. They have to learn how to recycle them, and that's happening. So I think it's a worthwhile investment. It's something we thought we'd never be able to do here because we are literally surrounded by very tall trees. And the side of the roof that faces north is very small, and we've got a solar hot water system up there. So we just sort of written off the idea of getting solar power completely. We thought it would never happen. And it wasn't until I rang one of the solar installers, and I just made an inquiry about getting a battery, because I figured that we could charge the battery during the day when the cost of electricity is relatively low, and then run the house off the battery at night. Now while I was talking to the salesman, he pulled up a 3D image of our house with the trees mapped in 3D, and he started to put replicas of the solar panels on the roof. They were just like black rectangles. He put those on the roof, and then in real time he could show me how much power they would generate on any given day. We could run it forward and backwards during the daytime. We could run it forward and backwards by month, and it soon became clear that it was a viable option for this place. But like I said, I just completely written it off. I thought we would never be able to do it. So am I happy with it? Yes, at this stage it's doing everything we want. It's actually exceeded my expectations, so I think it was, like I say, a worthwhile investment. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching today. Next video is going to be getting back onto Thread Express, and we'll just get back into the usual content. But I just thought you'd like to see this. Maybe if you're thinking about getting a solar system here in Australia, it might sort of give you a little bit of information about whether it could be suitable for you. Okay, Espresso signing out for now. We'll see you next time. Cheers.